Frank, last game in the Premier League this weekend, has it sunk in yet?
Yes and no, actually. It's the last few days probably has done more, because I think, you always think about, treat each game like it's your last, each training session like it's your last, and then officially it becomes the last. I kind of thought I'd probably finish last season at the end of the season with Chelsea in the Premier League. I've been fortunate enough to have another great year here. Really enjoyed everything about it, and all of a sudden I'm at the end. But it kind of feels right, to be honest. I have the challenge and the adventure in New York to come. That's what I really want to get my teeth into now, and I just feel ready to sign off. It's not so much sadness; it's more I can appreciate what I've had for 20 years. Everything comes to an end, and I'm pretty proud of what I've been able to do.
It's hard to imagine a Premier League without Frank Lampard. It doesn't sound like you've given yourself too much time to reflect just yet on the last 20 years.
No, because I've always been a player as well. I'm always in the moment, and I'm always looking to the next thing, and I'm trying to keep the level. Because I think the minute you drop your standards, or you don't train, or you don't look ahead and try and improve, then things don't happen for you. So I've spent my career doing that. So I think you do get to the end, you become a bit more reflective. But I think my reflections will come after. When I've finished playing and I'm watching the Premier League from America and watching back and seeing games next season, and I'll maybe have some moments where I miss it and and look back to what I did. But I'm just delighted, as I say, that I've been able to take part in it for so long, so regularly at a fantastic club like Chelsea, and then at the end of it get a chance to come to a fantastic club like City here for a year. Not many players are fortunate enough to play at such high level clubs with high level teammates, with great fan base and great fans, and I've been able to do that. So I have nothing but appreciation for all that.
Well, relatively speaking, as you say, you haven't really been with us for that long, but it does almost feel like you've been here for years.
I know what you mean.
Were you surprised by how easily you just seemed to slot into the team?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel that person in the beginning. I was nervous, and I thought, well, can I fit in? Do people see me as Mr. Chelsea that's just come along here? But it didn't happen that way at all. I think the dressing room took me in straight away, very friendly and good teammates, and I can count a lot of them as friends already in the year that I've been here. The club itself, staff, people who work behind the scenes, the fans from the early stages of me starting to play at the beginning of the season. And I've really enjoyed it. It's been a real eye-opener to me to live in Manchester. I travelled up here now and again, almost saw myself as a London boy, and now obviously I've got a bit more, I think I've broadened my horizons slightly and met new people and seen another club. So I can't complain about anything. I think the club's treated me fantastically well, and I'll certainly leave on Sunday and wish everybody the best here, because it's been great.
Is there one player in particular that you've enjoyed playing with the most?
Well, I think in terms of a player that's special, is Sergio Aguero. I think he's. I knew from afar, because I remember John Terry used to tell me every week that when we play Man City, he was like, I really don't want to play against Aguero. He put him up there when everyone else was talking about Suarez and other strikers. John was always talking about Aguero being the toughest opponent. So I came here aware of what he could do, obviously, but he's just a genius of a goal scorer, a fantastic player. Wins the Golden Boot this year when the club's not quite been at our best, and when he was injured as well, I think for 6 weeks of the season himself. So he's been amazing, but I don't just want to leave it at him. I know Joe Hart and James Milner very well from England before, but it's been a pleasure to know them more as men, as people, and to play amongst them. Joe Hart's been outstanding this year individually. James Milner, in that kind of underrated way that everyone else sees him, but coming into Man City, you see how appreciated he is by the fans and why he is, because of the player he is. So I could go through the team, I could name lots of people that have impressed me here, and that's part of the reason I've had a good time.
It's the Chelsea Old Boy, Frank Lampard.
The Chelsea goal was a big deal for me, and it's easier to reflect on it now. The league's done. Chelsea won the league because they deserved to, because they were the best team over the course of the season. But for me, that was a big moment. It sort of announced myself here with the fans, I think, and also was like a bit of a send-off for me with Chelsea in a way there. So I can look back on that with a lot more pleasure. At the time, it was sort of strange and weird, but now I can look back with a clear head and just have a lot of pleasure out of that. And the first 4 or 5 months of the season, up till January really, was some coming on and scoring some important goals, and I was loving it. I probably had a few frustrating months after that, but I've been able to get back in the team at the back end of the season when we've secured coming second, and I can't look back with any regrets about my time here at all. Really, my expectations were never to play every week. I didn't know what to expect when I came here, so I'm certainly pleased that I've been able to have some input.
I think for me as well, that goal sums you up as a player. You know, you're always determined to just get the job done.
Yeah, I think so. I think, as I was saying before, really, like, I try and work hard as much as I can every day in training, with the aim is to go and do something in a game, you know, to try and score an important goal, be part of a winning team. And I think I've, you know, considering I've been able to play for 20 years and most of those years at the top end of the Premier League, that's because of good ethics. I think I was fortunate to come from a good footballing family. My dad always gave me the right idea as a kid what I had to do, and I've tried to do that, and I've tried to get the job done. It hasn't always worked that perfectly, but that's been my intentions.
And now on to your next challenge, as you've mentioned, the MLS. How are you feeling about that?
Really excited, actually. I've been watching a lot of the games now. Unfortunately, we get them obviously over here to watch a lot. But for me personally, I can't wait to go out there and get started now. I want to try and give something to the team. I want to help in any way I can, whether it's off the pitch of experience and in the dressing room, where it's certainly on the pitch. If I can bring, you know, my game over there, and I certainly feel very fresh in the mind and fit and ready to go. So that's now where my mind is completely. Once Sunday finishes and I say my goodbye, then I move very quickly on to getting my head around New York.
We probably can't overlook the fact as well that, of course, Steven Gerrard will be out there. Your careers have been so intertwined over the years, haven't they?
Yes, they have. They have. We've obviously played for England a long time, spoke about so much about whether we can play together for England. Played against him so many times. We had a few years at Chelsea where we seemed to play them in the Champions League most years, in Carling Cup finals and FA Cups, etc. So, yeah, I mean, he's been a great competitor. I've enjoyed, you know, battling against him all the way, and I'm pleased with him that he's going to play LA Galaxy, because I think it adds to the league, getting a player with Steven's name and ability to go over there and play. And, you know, it's a bigger challenge for me now. I want to do my bit for New York and help us try and win something.
And for you personally, everything sorted with moving your whole life over to the Big Apple?
Not quite. It's one of those, really. I think I'm sorted, but when it comes to it, the actual practicalities will kick in and all the bits and bobs. But the club are great. You know, I'm being very much helped by them in terms of finding somewhere to live and just making me feel comfortable with everything that's coming up. So I've got no problems. I'm quite a big boy. I'll just sort of go over there and take it as it comes, and try and concentrate on my football and try and get things right on the pitch as soon as I can, because that's the most important thing.
What a great city to live in as well, though. Obviously, I think Manchester's the best city in the world, but New York's okay.
Yeah, New York's okay. It definitely holds its own. It's a fantastic city. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to go there with Chelsea for many a year in a football sense, obviously. Played against City actually a few years ago at an end of season tour. But yeah, a lot of that in my football years, a couple of holidays I've had there, I know it's a fantastic city. There's a real buzz about it. I'm very much a city person myself. I always lived centrally in London. I've lived centrally in Manchester for the last year. So I love, you know, walking out of the house and being able to go and get coffee and just feeling the buzz of a place. And New York is, you know, that is what New York is exactly. So lifestyle-wise, I'm very much looking forward to it. And football-wise, I think because it's also a city that likes its winners, it loves its sport, and it wants its sport to be winners. And I think if we can do that in a football sense and bring them some success, then I think you're going to see the game fly, and I think you're going to see New York get some fantastic support there.
Well, Frank, on behalf of everyone at the club and of course the fans as well, thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Over the last year, it's
Thanks
been an
for having me.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you.